Hello, Brockton, and welcome to One North Maine, our city's magazine show where we profile people, places, and events that make this city oh so great. Coming up on today's episode, the Council on Aging celebrates Chinese New Year. There was a panel discussion held at the library by none other than Brockton legend Newbie Rateau promoting his movie Protect, Serve, and Care. We had two Rotary events this episode. The first, Royale LaRhonda, is the owner and founder of the RTI Empowerment Center, and he spoke to Rotary. Also speaking at Rotary, none other than Brian Jackman from NBC 10 Boston and NECN. And finally, the sororities in this city are simply on fire. They recently held a health fair over at the Westgate Mall. So I want you to sit back, relax, and see what your community, the City of Champions, has to offer. Did she make the shirts or did you?
We made them together. Chocolate. Gotta love it.
Hello and welcome to One North Maine.
The Council on Aging. Just let that sink in for a second. What a place, what staff, and a group of volunteers. This year, they celebrated the Chinese New Year in style. It is the year of the pig. You might not know that after this segment, but I'm here to tell you, it is the year of the pig. Why do I ask? We had to ask some people over at the COA. Enough talking. Let's check it out. It's the COA, Council on Aging, 10 Father Kenny Way. What are we here for? Does it matter? Not really, but we are here for the Chinese New Year. Michelle Brace, Program Activities Coordinator, along with Carla, Janice, the Director, Dottie Slack, and a host of volunteers are doing a fantastic job as always. We love the Council on Aging. We love all of their events. This one's no exception. Enjoy the Chinese food and a little singo. All right, big guy, are you going to cut line?
Yeah, okay, don't forget these guys.
The New England Patriots, I've heard of them. They're pretty good.
Yeah, right. Now I'm waiting for my Chinese food now.
That's why I'm asking, are you cutting line?
If I can.
All right. If you do,
Yeah.
I will report you to... I'll be right back. Let me find out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, what goes into the scoop, babe? What goes into the scoop?
This is fried rice.
That looks like a meaty. That's like a cross between a ladle and something else, man. That's a beauty right there. That's a big pile you're handing out.
Yeah, but they love it. It's going to be good. Good time.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, Ruthie, what do we got here? You're handing out the chicken?
We have the chicken fingers here, and don't they look delicious?
They do, they do.
Oh, wow.
When you go on Chinese food, what do you go with?
I go with the boneless spare ribs.
You can't go wrong with the boneless.
I'm from the South, so I like ribs.
Oh yeah, we like ribs. We like ribs. We like it. And we're going into the next big New Year. Are you looking forward to Valentine's Day?
Am I? Oh, always.
How many Valentines do you think you'll have this year?
Always tell me.
Tell us the truth, please.
2.
2? And who may they be?
My daughter and my son.
Well, it doesn't get any better. That and you, ma'am. What about you? Valentine's?
I love Valentine's Day.
Carla, I see somebody cutting line over here. I am going to report him. I'm going to get him. Okay. What's your fortune? Read it to us, please.
That's my fortune.
Oh, we're reading your fortune. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Diane, do it. I will read it. Oh, wait.
on TV.
Oh, wait, I don't have my glasses, Diane. Come on, help me out.
It takes less time to do things right than it does to explain by the way why you did it wrong.
All right, what's yours?
Love is on its way.
It is?
Yeah, it says so right here.
Hi, Jay Miller. How are you?
Hi, may I say a word?
Yes, because I breathe, so you can get a word in.
Everybody say hi, Jay Miller.
Hello, everybody. Are you on your best behavior today? Good, good, good. I want everybody on 3 to welcome Phil. Phil is the guy on camera, so on 3, everybody say hello. Phil, 1, 2, 3. On 3, if we could all say Happy Chinese New Year, that would be wonderful. 1, 2, 3. Happy Chinese New Year! Yeah! And we love the COA! Michelle,
Yes,
Chinese
I know.
New Year.
Yes.
You guys have a lot of events, a lot of activities. This one just kind of falls under the category. Let's have some fun. Let's have some food.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sometimes we just want to have fun. Sometimes we want to do educational programs, but especially in the wintertime, we like to do things that people can just get out and be social with each other so they're not stuck inside.
Another packed house today. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, well, you know, we always have good food and good entertainment, and plus I think people are getting riled up for the Super Bowl, so I thought we'd have more Pats fans, though, to be honest.
Well, you know what? They'll come around after they win. After the Patriots win, they'll come around just like all fair weather fans.
You're not supposed to say that out loud.
I just did.
Well, hopefully it will be true.
What is this the year of in Chinese, in the Chinese tradition, the Chinese calendar?
I think it's Year of the Pig, but I could be wrong about that.
Okay, we've heard dragon, pig.
Last year was rooster. I think pig follows rooster. You know what? I don't know. The way I always teach everybody it's okay to say, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'll find out. How about that? I'll let you know.
Excellent. So before we're done, we'll find out what year it is.
I think it's pig. I would almost bet, but you know.
Brockton legend, and I do not use that term lightly, Nubi Rateau, he is in full effect. He's released a new movie, Protect, Serve, and Care. It's about the police department and 2 sides to that hot topic of police protecting, serving, and caring. There was a panel discussion held after the movie. Let's take a look.
Thank you guys for coming out today. You know, this is a big issue, and this is something that we wanted to draw attention to, as we do with our other documentaries. You know, just bringing awareness to issues that we see in our community or that, you know, impact us immediately. You know, these are things that we have to worry about every day, things that people that are around us have to worry about every day. And, you know, it's huge that you guys keep coming out every year, supporting us, you know, helping us get attention for these films. And, you know, we can't, you know, Nubi can't say it enough, I can't say it enough. We appreciate you guys' support.
First and foremost, start off, you know, like I do every show, I just want to thank and acknowledge God because He's been such a blessing. Just looking at this right now, so I just want to thank and acknowledge God. So I want to acknowledge Him. You guys can clap for that. Amen. We'll kind of go back and forth, and then we're just kind of talking debrief here.
At that time that we accepted is we're not doing enough. We're not aggressive enough in fixing the issues that are occurring in our communities because we're allowing for fear to paralyze us and not set up the structures in our community that we need to deal with these the issues. And I'm speaking specifically minority communities. We're not setting up the structures that we need. It's always we're asking for politicians or we're asking for someone else to come in and set up things for us. We have to set up structures. We got to set up community programs and community buildings. We got to build our own basketball courts. We got to do our own things so they can't shut us out. So they can't say, look, you can be here for this amount of time, or we'll give you the program that we designed for you. We need to design our own because these kids are coming from our homes. And if something happens, whether it's due to the police or the police coming to our homes because someone else has killed our child, they're coming back to our homes and saying, look, this happened to your son.
I'm not lying when I said that I hear it all the time. I'll be working at a supermarket or something, and you know, somebody be having a problem with their child, and see that police officer, if you don't listen to me, he's going to take you away. I actually stopped a mother one day and said, stop that. Don't tell your child that. Because I'm not, and I told the kid, I'm not going to take you away. I'll talk to you and tell you need to respect your parents, but I'm not going to take you away. I said, don't do that. Because now you're instilling fear in the badge, in the uniform. We're not there to fear. We're not there to be feared. You know, you call me to your house, I'm going to take care of the situation.
The biggest problem we have right now in all of our communities is education and the ability to go out and ask the questions. We are still too afraid, because of these invisible lines that we've drawn around our communities, to go into those communities and ask questions of people, because their experience is unique, and you don't ever understand that until you cross the line and ask. And the same thing has to come in the other direction from all communities. There are too many invisible lines that we are afraid to cross. And until we do, until we are able to educate ourselves about civic responsibility, about what your rights are in the community, about what your rights are when it comes to addressing law enforcement, and what you can and should do.
But every single day, young black people are incarcerated for situations where, all right, a police officer said, you got a little too aggressive. And now that young person has a case. Now they can't get a job. Now it's totally affected their life situations. You know what I mean? And people don't think about that on a daily basis. That means for 9, 10 months until their case is resolved, they can't get a job or they can't do this. And I mean, I'll go into it later on probably on this panel, but it happens to people whether you're in the streets or not.
I feel like the most important thing to do is educating yourself on all of those rules. Not the Constitution, but like, hey, what does a police officer have to do to justify a shooting? Threat of life, threat of loss of life. If they feel like there could be a loss of life, that's all of their life, of an innocent person's life, that's the justification that they need to prove. So I'm gonna add that to my catalog of rules and say, I'm not going to pose any threat, because that's a real rule. It's not in the Constitution, but that's part of those rules that we have to learn. Interactions, like the gentleman asked about the different experiences that we have, that's something that we got to factor in. Not all people of color get the same treatment because certain people make different decisions. Not saying that that's right or wrong, that they get treated differently, but that's a real life thing that we got to think about. What situations are you putting yourself in? And then when you're in those situations, what decisions are you making when you're there?
That's when it ends. 10 years, 20 years. Now, you all in this room know the serenity prayer. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. You said you were inspired. Perhaps you need to start changing the things you cannot accept. When you do that, that's when this movement starts really rolling, and that's when you put an end to all of this black-white division.
Black males are under attack. We're being removed from our families. The war on drugs was a war on black males. If you don't think so, do the research. Do the research. They printed it in the New York Times now. So this isn't some conspiracy theory. This is a real thing. And as a black man with 3 black sons, I am going to stand, die if I must, on the principle that I'm fighting for my sons to be able to stand up as a man and interact in society the same way his peers can.
Rotary Club of Brockton, Chapter 7950, for those of you that didn't know, has had some excellent guests in recently for their ongoing series. They meet weekly over at Thorny Lee Country Club. And the first person we're going to highlight is Royale LaRhonda. Royale is the founder and owner of the RTI Empowerment Center, empowering youth to reach their full potential. He's a powerful speaker. Let's take a look.
Good afternoon,
parliamentarians. I'm very pleased to introduce my friend and speaking colleague, Royale LaRhonda. He is a transformational speaker who has embarked on a journey to inspire, motivate, and transform the masses using his life experiences. He quotes, "No man or woman has ever become great without making great mistakes." And it is through his philosophy that he continues to help other people change their lives. He has also been the keynote speaker for events of well-known organizations across the East Coast, such as the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, Bridgewater State University, Harvard University, Rockland Trust Bank, and many, many more. He recently opened a community center in Stoughton, Mass. Called the RTI Empowerment Center. Please welcome Royale LaRhonda.
Great to be, I'm excited to be here with everyone here. Thank you, Joanne, for inviting me here. I say thank you for taking me on the journey on how things would go while being here. And also, too, I'd like to give a huge thank you to the Rotary Club and the Brockton Rotary Club. And as I was looking, I believe the mission is to bring positive change to the communities, right? And I believe that we share some of the same mission.
Life for me, as I knew it, was over. I was facing 15 years for trafficking cocaine, possession of a firearm without an FID card, driving with a revoked license while being a habitual traffic offender. All after previously beating a firearm charge and out on $30,000 bail. I said to myself, boy, let me see you get out of this one. See, up until that moment, I escaped any hardship I was ever presented with by taking shortcuts. I mean, through my experience and observation, that's what I believed in. That's what worked for me. But you see the streets, oh man, the streets showed me accountability. See, the guys used to pull up in nice cars, wearing thick chains, bracelets, with large wads of cash, pulsating out their pockets. They used to send me to the corner store for them and let me keep the change. They used to let me roll the dice for them and let me keep the change. They used to have me pick crack vials from behind the bushes for them and let me keep the change. They even hid large plastic bags of coke inside my boxing gloves and let me keep the change. You are either a part of the problem or a part of the solution. And clearly, I was a part of the problem. Guilty. Mr. Larden, you are hereby sentenced to 2.5 years in the House of Corrections, 30 months, 913 days to not exceed 3 years. Good luck. I was supposed to do those 15 years. But I believe that my higher power had a different plan for me. But in order for me to activate that plan, I had to dig deep within myself to pull out my true self. Change is a matter of getting rid of the old and bringing in the new. Change is a matter of environment, and change is a matter of habit. I'm here today to say that I had to hit rock bottom in order to change, but we don't have to let our youth hit rock bottom. I'm here today to say that my mission is to help everyone I come in contact with get one step closer to their best self. And that is the reason why I became a transformational speaker. My other mission is to help the youth avoid the pitfalls that I wasn't able to avoid. And that's the reason why I opened up the RTI Empowerment Center, where the mission is to bridge the gap in communities through arts, youth empowerment, and community development.
As I said earlier, the Rotary Club of Brockton, Chapter 7950, is on fire. They recently also had Brian Jackman in. He's a TV personality. He's done a lot of work with NBC 10 Boston, as well as NECN. And Brockton is near and dear to his heart, so we came out to the Rotary Club and spoke with the group. Let's take a look.
Our speaker, Mr. Jackman, is here. Yes, thank you. So let me just quickly, just a little bit about Brian. He's been with NECN and NBC 10 Boston since 2014, but he's actually been with NBC Family since 2002, when he left ESPN to become a sports anchor, band reporter at NBC Connecticut. During his time in Connecticut, as well as CNBC, MSNBC, and NECN/NBC 10 Boston, Brian has covered a range of stories, most notably while at CNBC. He covered the financial crisis, the oil boom in North Dakota, and several major hurricanes, including Sandy. In sports, he's been to the Super Bowl, Kentucky Derby, World Series, World Cups, and Olympics. He's most proud of his documentary work, which is involved the tobacco industry, exotic animal trade, UPS, FedEx, and e-com legend.
I literally came off the new newscast and took some baby wipes to my face and drove straight down here. So, it's funny because I'm 47 years old, and we're in a constant state of analysis about news, right? I mean, and I think we all are, and it's even exacerbated in my world, and I'm so far away from what I started off doing, and there's two real things I want to talk about today, and then I want to leave it up to some questions, and I'm happy to talk about anything you want. And so, and starting off in local news, I don't know what the future looks like in that, and if anything's going to come in its place, because it doesn't make any money. Because ultimately, the news business is still about making money. I don't know if people saw the New York Times yesterday. The failing New York Times, its digital business is bigger than ever. They just hired a couple hundred new journalists, and they figured it out, and they're going to be fine. Whereas we thought they were probably in an existential crisis just a few years ago. So in the newsroom, at home with my wife, who's very socially conscious, we talk about that. Like, what's going to fill the void in our communities from an information perspective? Because nobody does local, right? We'll come to Brockton for a fire or a shooting or a drug something, but we don't cover it on a regular basis. And I think it's something that's really a void in our communities, and I don't know what's going to happen there. I'd love to say that something where there's a demand for it, but if it's not financially viable, who's going to do it? So the terms fake news and deep state, those things are interesting concepts for me, but now it's just in the newsroom, and as a person, it's hard to know what's true and what's real. And so I think that what we've learned, because there's a good argument for a lot of different things, and so through the last 2 years, I don't take anything at face value. And it's hard to find the real truth of things, especially because I'm now an indoor cat sitting at a desk and not out there in the world reporting on it. I have a tough time knowing what's true at any given moment. And I don't know what it's like for you guys, and I literally read the news all day long. My approach for the last, probably since I went to CNBC in 2007 is, and I wish I could have done this as a student, is that when I get put on a story, I don't ever want to have to cram. So if I study a little bit all the time, I never have to cram for anything. So and that's why Twitter, I truly love Twitter, because it allows me to be informed to what degree I want, where I want, all the time. But I will tell you that in the newsroom, we struggle all the time with what to choose to do and what not to do based on we don't know exactly the real truth. And it seems like we know less about it now than before, even though we have more access to information all over the place.
Just take, for instance, the State of the Union address, and information is given out that is wrong. Is it the newscaster that has to bring that out?
So information in the speech?
Yes.
So for the Trump speech, there are actually people at NBC now we have people who are specifically tasked with fact-checking speech. That's done at NBC News. And so they do that right away, and that's pushed out to everybody. So we don't have to have anybody in-house. Because again, our job is to report on the news event, not to parse it from that kind of critical perspective. That's not our role in the whole system.
We were over at the Westgate Mall recently for another health fair. There are many health fairs that happen with the city on an annual basis, but this one was special because it was put on by some local sororities that are really investing their time and their efforts into making Brockton a better place. It was a blast. Let's check it out.
Well, thank you for coming out today. Thank you for all the folk that are coming out. We are the Psi Iota Mega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and today is Pink Goes Red for Heart Health. It's an event to encourage the community to come on out, get their blood screenings, get their cholesterol screenings, at the same time coming out, do a little bit of Zumba, and focus on your health. As Brocktonians, we have that great champion power and winning spirit, so let's have that power and winning spirit about our health so we can stay strong and live strong and really contribute to our community as we should.
Hello, my name is Ray Barry. I'm American Heart Association CPR instructor, and I'm here today at the Westgate Mall to educate folks on how to perform hands-only CPR. It's only 3 simple steps, and by doing this, you can provide a cardiac arrest victim a 4 times greater chance of surviving this cardiac arrest until help arrives.
Hello, my name is Beverly, and I'm a resident in Brockton. And about 12 or 13 years ago, I lived in Salem, Mass. And all of a sudden, I started to feel funny, and I couldn't breathe, and I started to just go under. And my husband knew CPR right away, and then after that, I was not responded, and then took the ambulance about 4 minutes to get there, and by then I was just out of it, cardiac arrest, and I was basically, brain dead for about a good 4 days. I don't remember the 4 days. I don't remember, being in ICU, and then, I came back to myself, and I was ready to go back to work because that's the last thing I remember, and the doctor said, no, you need a defibrillator. We almost lost you. And I came back, to myself, and now I have a cardiac defibrillator. It's a pacemaker in one, and I'm so grateful that I'm alive to talk about it today.
We're going to do 3 simple things. We're going to tap and shout in the shoulders. Hey, you right? You okay? Yell out their name if you know it. Second step is call 911. Either we call on our cell phone and put it in speakerphone, or we send someone to call for help if they're there, or we need to leave that person, call for help, and come back. Last thing we do is press hard and fast in the center of the chest. So as fast and as deep as we can go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we continue doing this until help arrives. If we get tired doing this before help arrives, if there is another adult around, whether they know CPR or not, we train them right what to do. Just have them take over for us. And if there's any confusion at all, the dispatcher that you have on the phone will be able to provide you phone CPR instructions and be like a CPR instructor by proxy, so it can really help keep someone nice and calm while they're doing this. But this really makes a difference. My dad was a survivor of cardiac arrest, and again, Beverly is a survivor of cardiac arrest.
Another half hour of excellence from One North Main. We hope you enjoyed the show. Coming up on our next episode, we're featuring some Black History Month events and profiles, so stay tuned for that. To learn more about Brockton Community Access, you can visit our website at bcatv.org. You can also check out our YouTube page, youtube.com. TheBrocktonChannels, all one word. For everyone at One North Main, including producer Aaron Tebow and executive producer Mark Lindy, I'm Jay Miller. We'll see you around town.